Welcome back to another video.
Hey, dude, Sebastian, pass me the bag of money, man. Share the wealth. There's no money in here. Where'd you get this?
It's
The bank?
I sold purge masks.
Oh, nice, dude. Right?
So what's the topic today, Hayden?
Okay, the topic. This is going to be a very interesting one. You've seen videos probably from us on our channel. We've made a lot of videos, kind of fun. A lot of other people have as well. Making money, this and that, maybe explaining what it's like for them. I want to explain, and this might be a little bit weird, but it's going to be a very different angle, what it's actually like to make money, okay? And this, just hold on here, this is from a perspective of time. So I want to kind of, I know I haven't really explained this to you, I want to talk about leading up to when you first started making money, because it probably scaled pretty quick,
Yes.
exponentially,
Yes.
after having not scaled at all for a long time. Took you a long time, boom, kind of blew up. Those first few months are different from like the next year after those first few months. So it's a very different time frame, and the reason that we want to put this out is for two reasons. For us to look back on later, which would be definitely a cool thing, and also for people who are not in our exact situation to get a good perspective on it. Now, you might be further ahead than us, you might not be. So we want to put out that perspective and share this along the journey. So it's going to be very interesting. I want to kick it off. If you can remember, kind of at least somewhat throughout like the specific year, when did you start getting money flowing in? Like, what was that like build up? Like a month, couple months before that ramp up? Like, how was those 3 to 6 months during that time?
So, I feel like you're interviewing me.
Yeah.
So basically, it started about last year. Towards the end of the year, so towards the end of 2017 is when I got into making money online, because I was a real estate agent. So that's when I got into doing it. At this point in my life, I had maybe like about $1,000 or less in my bank account, and that's what I was using to fund my online business. And I just remember, like I told the story many times, my first month I revenued $5,000. I think my profit was like $2,200 or $2,000, something like that. Not bad for a first month. And then my next month was more, and then the next month was more. But I don't remember, but I guess the only thing that I never really looked at, like, oh, okay, here's what I have to do, here's what I have to do, here's like a book I have to read to scale. I was always just in my room doing the same thing every day, like, okay, like work. And then I remember hitting 10K in my account, and I remember how that felt, and then I remember hitting 30K, and then I remember hitting 50K, and then I remember going to Punta Cana for 4 days and making like 12 grand in those 4 days, and then like I remember hitting 100K and so on and so forth.
And so, just to be clear on that, when you saw those milestones, like, do you check your bank frequently, or did you back then?
Yeah. So I get paid out daily for most of my stuff. Like, the only thing that I don't get paid out daily would be YouTube, but like Stripe pays out daily and Shopify Payments pays out daily. So I would get my bank account like increases every single.
So you
day.
would look at it in the beginning. You'd kind of.
I would look at it like every 4 days, like every 4 or 5 days. Yeah.
Okay. And so when you saw it cross, because excuse me, 10,000. Excuse me, is a big milestone. Okay, 10,000, like that's a big transition.
Most people don't have that in their bank.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
They have. Most people don't even have 1,000.
Yeah.
Which is kind of wild to think about. 10,000, which still fits in the palm of your hand. How did that feel? Did you have an emotional reaction? Did you purchase something? Did you say something to someone? Your family?
I didn't purchase anything. But I do want to get into this later on in the video. I want to get into how your lifestyle will like change without you being conscious of it. Because I used to spend like $400 a month.
Yeah.
And now I spend at minimum 10 grand a month, and I don't know how. I don't know on what. I don't know. But as you make more, your lifestyle will change. It's like inevitable.
I think it's mostly food. A lot of like food and gas and little stuff just travels. I really don't know.
It's really about like just completely looking over the little things. Like when you put gas, you don't even look.
Buying a chessboard.
Yeah, you don't even look at the price. Like when you go buy grocery shopping, you don't look. You just pay, and it's like. You just buy I don't know. When I don't go to Walmart. Like go to Target now. Target's a little bit more. Target's a little bit more expensive. They have like higher quality stuff. I don't know, but that's something I want to talk about later on. But you wanted to ask like how did it feel like the palm of your hand?
Or like how? No, because you didn't have it in the palm of your hand. It was in a bank account.
Right, it was in a bank account.
Did you have any sort of reaction?
Oh no, no, I didn't care. I was just work. I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't care at all. I told my mom.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, Mom, I have 10 grand. I mean, my mom's never had 10 grand in her bank account. The only time she's ever had that much money was when she sold her house.
Wow.
So, yeah, she was like, congrats.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, on that side, I'll summarize mine real quick. You know,
Yeah.
obviously, you guys know a lot of background on my story. So it scaled pretty quickly. It was a lot of months when I was doing affiliate marketing and some stuff with Instagram influencers. A little bit volatile, kind of in like the 1 to 4,000, maybe 4,500 for quite some time. And you know, it was volatile. I kept getting scammed, so I kept getting knocked back down to pretty much zero, which was bad. But I was spending a good chunk of my money. You know, making like 2,000 a month. I was spending about 1,000 of it traveling. So I was trying as much as I could. This is when I was growing Instagram pages and doing affiliate marketing. And by doing that, which might have looked stupid proportionally to my money, you know, I don't really care. I didn't really have any expenses except doing that.
Yeah.
That led me to figuring out what Shopify was and getting into dropshipping. Very first store, fidget spinners, 70,000 a month, and then 72,000 in the top 2 months. Now I had 3 other partners on the store, and they were the ones who did a lot of the stuff. But that for me, first exposure into e-commerce.
Yeah.
So that was a really cool thing. And you know, it was like 6 or 7 months after that where money actually started coming in for me with e-commerce. So when things scaled for me, it was like a 3-month time frame going from, you know, a couple thousand a month to, you know, well into multi 5 figures a month in profit. So those 3 months for me was really, really cool. What I did through that was after a couple months, I ended up purchasing my car, a BMW M4.
Yeah.
I was able to finance it through my dad, which is really cool. We're joint co-signed, so it's building my credit, insurance is under me and everything. And that vehicle, since I didn't have to put all of it down, I could have paid for it in cash. I waited until I could have. You know, making the money like that, I didn't buy any clothes. You still know this about me. I've never purchased anything from any designer store ever.
Yeah.
Ever. And like for me, that's just my thing. So I saw the money coming in. It was really cool, but I just kept wanting to scale. And it can sound bad or almost like a douche to a degree, but like if you start making 50,000 a month, all I cared about was making 100,000. And then I wanted to just progress so fast. And the reason for that was I saw what other people were doing. So for me, when I was failing with e-commerce, I could never give up. I would never give it because someone was making $250,000 a month that I knew personally.
Yeah.
So I was like, why am I here if they're there? You know, I should be further. So that was kind of how I perceived it. And, you know, that was me. Like during the next few months, it was just hustle. I kept stacking the money. I wasn't really spending much. The things I actually did when I started, you know, getting real disposable income, every single day I would go to Brugger's Bagel and Chipotle.
Yep.
That's it. I would spend $18.83 on bagels every day. Pretty expensive for 2. And I would spend about $10 at Chipotle.
Yeah, I would buy Chipotle every day too.
There you go. Like that to me was really cool. And you know, then when I got the car a couple months later, and this was like middle of 2017 when it really scaled, waited a little while, and I got my car in November of 2017. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I want you to kind of pivot this. We're going to kind of pivot. This is going to be a really interesting part. Talking about what happened like in the last year or two, because that was, you know, like a year and a half ago. Mm-hmm. So like 2 years ago. So I want to talk about like, I feel like the first couple months, at least for me, are very different from like the last, you know, couple of years. Like once you get like to that 50 or 100K in the bank, and then you just are maintaining and like scaling and also going into different things
change.
Meeting a lot of people and seeing a lot of people who are with you friend wise, whether they had personal brands or not, but fluctuated. Some completely dropped off, some are still great friends, some are not. Yeah. You know, like it's an interesting scenario. So like sticking around and like actually, you know, having money, like I wasn't going to do this in this video. There's a reason that I didn't buy the car that I just bought for a very long time. You guys will be seeing a video soon. There's a reason I didn't buy it for a long time. I wanted to make sure the income was sustainable, money was there long term, and it kept growing. So that's just how I perceive it. So yeah. Talk about like the last, you know, year for you, like how you feel with money. Again, I resonate with the point you said on just like, you know, racking up money and not really understanding where you're spending it. That's just like living a lifestyle around other people.
Yeah.
As long as it's controlled, I think it's good.
If I'm going to be completely honest, which I hate to admit this, and I don't think most people will admit it, but I think it's true for most people. My income, like once I started getting a taste, it skyrocketed. It was exponential, but then it actually went back down because I got comfortable. Yeah. Once I hit 100K in the bank, because I had my car, I already lived by myself. I could do anything I wanted. I was traveling, I was going everywhere, and I was like what else do I need? Like I just got comfortable. And I remember telling myself, I was like, no, like I can't do this. I can't get comfortable. And then the month after that, like I made a shit ton of money, but I'll admit that. I don't think most people will admit that. I haven't talked about it much, but actually, yeah, once it skyrocketed, and I think it was once I hit 100K in the bank, like the next month after that was like low. Like it was pretty bad.
Now, I'm not going to ask you to talk about individual numbers. I don't think that's exactly what's important, but percentage-wise, okay? Just for easy math, let's say it was $100, okay? Just for easy math. $100, did it drop to 70, 30? Was it 30%, 50%? How much did you think it fluctuated If you could give us
Hold on, let me think.
Because I get where you're coming from about being comfortable.
I'd be like 60% probably.
60?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it drops 40%. And another thing is I broke up with my ex-girlfriend. So a lot of things happened. Like a lot of bad things, a lot of trials happened. But yeah, that's okay. We're back on our feet now.
I feel that. I mean, it's never, like, as much as I tried, and while it's blowing up, it can keep going up. I definitely kind of got comfortable. I had it fluctuate, but for me, I don't really talk numbers, but like once I passed a certain mark that was like deep into multi-five figures, I've never really dropped below that in a month, like at least in revenue on everything, not including like whenever I talk about my personal revenue, I don't include Shopify revenue. That's my profit from Shopify. I count that as paying myself. So for me, like I hate fluctuation. I hate inconsistency. I like the idea of, you know, being able to know kind of what you make every single month. So for me, I'm very focused on consistency, but it does fluctuate and you will have big months. I'll have some months that are double what the previous month is.
Yeah.
That happens.
It's going to happen to everyone.
It's weird. It feels like when I don't know if you've had a month that doubles from the other while the other was still all right, but when it doubles, it doesn't actually feel like it's double. Like the value, like this, the first half, when you make that in a month, it's good. Like, you know, you made a good month, but then the next month is not double the feeling, and it's just a number, and it's weird.
Yeah, it's just a number.
It is.
Yeah, that's happened to me.
Yeah. So the thing I want to kind of point out throughout this is when you make money and like purchasing things, you're not going to be able to find long-term sustainable happiness in material things. Now, the people that you're sharing it with, the things that you're doing, and the experiences. That's why I spend a lot more of my time, energy, and resources on things like traveling and trying to find good people. Yeah. So I'm just kind of pushing a lot of my attention there, and that's led to issues, me being burned and whatever, but you learn from it. So on just the financial end of things, it's never going to be as crazy as you think. There's a lot more problems. I deal with a lot more stress. I work a lot more. I work 10 to 15 hours every single day, depending on the day. It's been a little bit low the last few weeks while I'm bouncing around, which obviously, as you know. But I personally, like, I would never trade the problems I used to have 2 years ago with not making money, or I just wasn't really doing much every day. Like, I was still trying to work and figure it out. I would never trade that for the problems I have now. Like, it's much better.
It's
like,
weird. Problems get more expensive.
I had someone who was very, very wealthy, who's actually in a big state of depression and came out of that with some bad issues with his wife. And, you know, like, he was worth like close to $1 billion, like private jet, you know, Beverly Hills mansion, all the new like 8 Rolls Royces, all that. He said, because he was in a very, very bad state of depression with all these material things and finances coming in and the business end of his life going well. He actually told me, and, you know, he had fixed his life and came out of that. He said, look, if you're going to be depressed, be as rich as possible. Literally. And that was an interesting thing, because either way, still go for that. Don't feel bad about making money. You know, obviously don't do anything unethical. I'm not saying that, but it's not a bad thing. Yeah. You know, like, you don't have to brag or boast or talk. Like, I believe I carry myself in a certain way, and everybody has their personality.
Right.
But, you know, do your thing, whatever you want to do. If
just don't be depressed,
because exactly. it's a resource to do things and to live a certain type of lifestyle. And I feel like the word lifestyle itself has like transitioned into, you know, money bags, cars, yachts, jets, traveling. But a lifestyle is just how you structure your life. So if that means you're a vegan and you live in the woods in a tent, that's your lifestyle, right?
Great.
So it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's like an interesting turn. But that's just kind of my perspective on it. If you have any closing thoughts, you know, and just money, like the long-term perspective on anything. I know it's always kind of an interesting.
It's weird because before I made money, everything that everyone would say was always cliche. Like, oh, you have to work hard. Oh, it's going to be easier than you thought, but harder than you thought. Like a lot of cliche things. And then what I try to do is like, all right, when I become successful, I'm going to try to not be cliche. Like I'm going to try to really open people's eyes. But all the cliche things are so true.
And here's the thing.
They're so true.
Didn't you hear people say that all the cliche things they heard were true?
Exactly, yeah.
And it's bad. It's annoying. I'm going to give you something as practical as possible for those. I know I mentioned in the beginning you might be further than us, like, you know, in certain senses, or you might not be. For those of you who might be just getting started in whatever you're doing, it doesn't have to be e-commerce. I always wanted to make money, right? You probably always wanted to make money.
Yeah.
When you were spending 2, 3, 4, 5 years, however long it was, trying to learn different businesses, you wanted the money to come in, right?
Right.
That's pretty much all you cared about. But looking back, do you know now that yourself then was not ready to make the money?
Oh, hell no.
Like, I know at certain points, like, it's weird to say, but it doesn't happen until, like, you're ready. And it's really, really interesting. That ready time frame can be different for different people, but making money too fast is bad. Like, if some of the stuff that I've been doing back when I was, like, 14, 15 would have worked, oh, my God. Like, I would have screwed up. I probably would have spent a lot of money, like, maybe gone broke. Like certain things, it's just, if you're not ready for certain things, it's not going to happen. And it's commonly referred to as obviously from the money standpoint, but like if you're trying to find a wife or a girlfriend, it's probably not going to happen until you're like not actively trying, if that makes sense. You have to kind of be ready for it and let it happen.
Let money chase you.
Exactly. That's a weird thing to say, but like just like again, being as practical as possible to build off that. You have to stay focused. Like I still work a lot every single day. I'm able to structure, I'm able to kind of outsource certain things, but that doesn't mean I'm not spending that time right back into something else. So just focus on your stuff, learn a skill, build it. For me, it was e-commerce. For Sebastian, it was e-commerce.
Yep.
We've been able to then branch into other types of e-commerce, other things that branch off of that, as well as other income streams that don't really relate, and kind of diversify a little bit. Nothing crazy, but a little bit. So yeah, anything else to add to this video? I know it's kind of an interesting topic. I just wanted to put it out there because I feel like it's
podcast topic.
This is interesting.
Because we talk about this for hours.
For a long time.
Yeah.
So I want to keep this short. I think we're like 15 minutes or something. But I want you guys to go ahead right now and comment down below your overall thoughts on just, first of all, this topic, but one thing that you think you can expand off of. Give us a couple sentences on making money. If you've already done it, if you're making $100,000 a month with your software, you're doing $6 million with the payment process or whatever, whatever your thing is, if it's going well, comments about it. Give us a little bit of perspective, your situation, kind of your advice. Maybe it's for other people. I'm just curious to kind of hear everybody's topic. Whether you have experience or not, every single person has a voice in this discussion. So we would love for you to go ahead and drop it in the comments down below. I'm going to make sure to get back to every single one. With that, Sebastian, appreciate you being in the video, brother. We got the big money bag as well here.
We got the second.
I love how he just has this.
Bought a second GTR today.
Look at that.
Not as big as my first one. My first one was a little bit more expensive, but
still. I love that he just has these things.
Money bag.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, if you guys enjoyed this video, again, don't forget to drop that comment down below. Seriously, we'd love to hear your feedback, your opinion, and just kind of your experience on the topic on anything we might have covered in this video today. But if you enjoyed this one specifically, make sure to drop a like down below. Again, smash it. It's crazy because it's free. It's not going to cost you that money bag.
It's not going to cost you anything.
Hit the like button.
Go subscribe.
Hit the like button. It's on his face.
Go subscribe to both of our channels.
Oh, yeah. Subscribe to the channels. I'll leave Sebastian's link down below. And with that being said, I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.
Peace, brothers.
Peace.